So today we're going to talk about drives. What is a drive? You've probably heard people talk about drives on a computer, whether it's a floppy drive or a hard drive or a flash drive. But what are they and what do they do? It might seem kind of confusing at first, but a drive is just simply a place where computers can store information. And most computers have got a lot of different kinds of drives automatically built in. They all have hard drives. They'll usually have a floppy drive and almost always have a CD drive. And then there are network drives that are actually located on another computer. It's a little bit ambiguous, but you could almost think of it like this desk. If this desk is your computer, there are a lot of different places you could store information. You could use this drawer or this drawer. The drawers could come in different sizes for different purposes. Maybe some drawers have hanging files. You could also think of this tray as being a drive on the computer. Depending on how your computer's set up, you could have a lot of drives or only a few, but they all have one thing in common. They're all there to store the information. So let's take a look at a real computer right now, right here at Kingsley, and see what kind of drives you might have on it. Alright, now here we are at our computer, and to find the drives that we have available, we'll go to Start and click on My Computer. This will pull up a window, and it will actually show you all the different kinds of drives that you have. Now on my computer, I've actually got two hard drives, and they're labeled C, and this one is actually labeled Q. Most of the time, your first hard drive will always be called the C drive. And this is where all kinds of things on your computer go, like Windows itself, or programs like OpenOffice or Microsoft Word. Those get saved on the hard drive. And when you're at home, you'll usually save things like your documents on your hard drive. But at school, you don't want to do that because they don't get backed up. You'll always save things by default to your network drive, which is where my documents would be. Now, as I go down, I see that I've actually got two DVD drives on this particular computer, and they're labeled D and E. And you don't save things on CDs and DVDs typically. They're just for reading the discs. And then I've got a couple more drives. These are all removable, and it's actually because I have a digital camera reader plugged into my computer. So anytime I plug in a card, it will show up in one of those drives. Most computers don't have that, but you may occasionally find one that does. Now, how about flash drives? I'm going to go ahead and plug in a flash drive even as I'm talking here. When I plug it in, it's going to automatically detect it, and it pops up as the next available letter. On most computers, that might be an E or an F drive. Because you've got so many other drives, this one actually showed up as a J. I can just click on it and see what's inside. All kinds of stuff. I can go back and even do things like rename it by right-clicking. Give it a name. That way, if I lose it, someone will know who to give it back to. As you continue to go down the list, we'll find network drives. These are drives that are not physically a part of our computer. They're actually located on a server, and our computer simply hooks up to them. And these get hooked up when you log in. So, for example, we've got the K drive. This is a drive for all the middle school kids to see, and if I want to save something on here, they'll be able to see it. WC apps. I've never used this drive. It must do something, but I'm not sure what it is. This is for Read 180, as you can see. WC0029, the S drive for both high school, middle school, and I think even elementary, is actually where all the kids are. I can go in by graduation year, who's 2014. It's my 8th graders this year. And it shows all the kids' stuff and what they've got in here. So if I want to correct an assignment, I can go to the S drive to find my students. Then I can move on down to the T drive. This would be either for the high school, middle school, or elementary staff. If I click on this, this is a drive that everybody in my staff shares. Here's some 8th grade stuff, some 7th grade stuff. And whatever you save here will be available to other staff members, but not to other students. The All Staff drive, which is also called the Joe Esper drive, or the U drive, is where Joe and others put all kinds of things, curriculum related. And this is mapped for all of the different buildings. If you're elementary, middle, or high school, you'll get the U drive. Here's SASE. I'm assuming we don't need this anymore since we don't use SASE, but it still gets hooked up. The admin drive, and then finally the Z drive, which is for me. This is the mmead drive. And if I look inside here, I can find things like My Documents or My Desktop. If I look inside Desktop, this is where all the stuff on my desktop is actually stored. These are the icons that I've currently got saved on my desktop. You can see them right over here. And here's My Documents. You can go inside here. This is all the stuff in My Documents, including a great picture of Winston Churchill.
Well, as you can see, drives can really make our lives a lot easier. They give us a lot of options as far as where we store our information. Because all the drives have different jobs, it's important that we understand which drives do which jobs. So let's review for a minute exactly what we've learned before you take your assessment.
A drive is a place a computer can store information or read stored information. Windows gives drives a letter name. There are many kinds of drives: hard drives, flash drives, network drives, and even digital cameras are drives. Network drives are on servers. You can only use them here at school. It gets hooked up when you log in. Network drives are backed up for you and can be shared by teachers, like the T or U drives. All documents should be stored in your My Documents folder on your Z drive by default. Local drives are on your computer physically, like a hard drive, CD drive, flash drive, or even floppy drive. Flash drives are convenient because they are small, easy to take with you, and work on any computer. Flash drives are also easily lost, can spread viruses, and you can sometimes end up with 2 copies of a document. Be careful.
Remember, using drives should be a happy and enjoyable experience. However, in some cases, serious side effects can occur. Remember, your computer can't hear you. Yelling at your computer is counterproductive and unhealthy. If you should experience the following side effects, please consult your technical service provider right away: anger, frustration, uncontrollable fits of rage, depression. These are signs that your understanding of drives is not yet complete.
For more information, go to the Teachers and Staff webpage on www.kingsley.k12.mi.us.